All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Aceblade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
You know, I just realized what you were doing before I hit the start button with the. It hit me right when the music started. Which is I was like, "What the hell is he?" All right, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics, in collaboration with Fourth Wall Production, proudly brings to you the Four Tales podcast. I'm your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the florid ghostwriter of Aceblade and the captain of the Aceblade Army, Danny J. Quick. And together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. And we are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and host of other programs. So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. But don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review our podcast because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience. Is that good?
That was, but I will point out the Aceblade Army attack y'all were not people who follow me. I will say that I checked the profiles and I was like, oh, these people don't even follow me. Like they were just angry. So all right, that doesn't count.
If you were not part of TikTok yesterday and saw the controversy that happened, well, wait, we have. Let's show the people what actually did happen so we can understand what was going on, why we're talking about this. So just bear with me for one moment here. And again, if you're listening to us on our podcast or on the Odyssey app, you might want to go to our YouTube channel, check out the video here, and so you can see the visual along with this. But hold on.
I can't believe they tried to steal my character.
You can copy and paste it.
Just copy and paste it. It's okay. Danny, that is not Aceblade. That is Club Bat.
Yeah.
Club Bat.
Completely different IP.
Nothing like Aceblade.
It's a completely different
Club Bat.
It's a totally different color. It's a different knot tying his ribbon on the back of his head. You know, this is a completely original. No court in the land would see that as infringement.
All right. So backstory. Yesterday I was on the 5-Star Fridays podcast with Tony Clapper
and Fishley.
And
yes,
Fishley. What the hell is that noise?
It's not me. I'm sorry. Is it me?
Okay, never mind. That was me. I forgot to close the YouTube channel. Went to another page. Yesterday I was on the 5-Star Fridays podcast with Fishley and Tony Clapper, and I introduced my new characters, Club Bat and Lumberjack Lynn. And Danny said it was stealing his characters of Aceblade and Morgan Iverson's Lumberjack, which I don't understand. They look completely different colors, different outfits. Uh-huh. But he decided to post this video on his TikTok. And within 2 hours, myself, Tony Clapper, and Fishley were getting hate messages and DMs from Danny's army.
Again, those were not people who followed me. Those were who saw the video and they were reacting, even though I thought I was clearly saying that it was a joke, and I appreciated what you were doing because it was cool. You know, people took it out of context, and I apologize. I want to publicly apologize to you, to Fish, and to Tony for people coming on your page like that. I did not intend for that to happen. So,
yeah. So just so you know, Danny has 65,000 followers on TikTok. In the 2 hours that he posted it, that one video got 30,000 views. I think his video alone got like a few thousand likes. And Fish, Tony and I were bombarded by DMs and
not
messages.
bombarded. Not
We were
bombarded.
We were
It was like
bombarded.
2 or 3
Fish
people.
specifically was bombarded. Like he says, the Aceblade army is no joke. It's true. Michael Watson's in the house. Thank you for joining us. Unfortunately, Michael Fish has not sent me. Well, wait, has he? Oh, he has. He just sent me the image. Let me see if I could pull that up.
Uh-oh.
The finished image. This is a tree, guys. All right.
I need.
You know I hate doing. All right.
On the fly.
Boom.
Yeah.
So there we go. We have Club Bat, Lumberjack Lynn, and my characters, Starcore, breaking out of their 4 walls that they're entrapped in. And this is a beautiful image. I mean, look at all the detail that Fish put into that. It's your boy, you know. This was amazing.
It's your boy.
I love the bobblehead.
Just unnecessary. Unnecessary.
It's not unnecessary because Starcore's going to come out with his new book. I have a Kickstarter that's going to be running in a couple weeks for that. And Club Bat and Lumberjack Lynn are going to appear in Saw issue 4, along with a couple other characters. So be on the lookout for that.
Rolling on the floor, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. But I do like it. It was dope, man. It was pretty cool to see that. Yeah. Man, Fish is a dope artist, man. He a couple weeks ago when I was on there, I did something similar with Lumberjack's character, or I had him mash up Aceblade. So it's dope to see like him be able to come up with the artistic representation of what we talk like that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But enough about us.
Fish on. No, we'll have to have Fish on in the future because he's come out with his new book, Green Zone.
Green Zone, yeah.
So when that launches, we'll have to try to squeeze him in somewhere.
Yeah, maybe do a Wednesday show.
Wednesdays? What the hell?
You already got all my Saturdays booked up, so we gotta do a Wednesday.
Oh man, you a busy man. I get it. You a busy man. All right, but you're right. Enough about us. Let's talk about today's guest. Today's guest is a writer and artist from Keyframe Comics. He's the creator of the smash hit series Bassforce and Clarity Girl. And I just got to say, I love the name Bassforce. I think that's an amazing character name. I really want to know where he came up with that. So let's bring the man on, Chris Thomasma.
Hey man, how's it going?
It's all right, man.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I think it was you who named him. So you did a pretty good job there. Yeah.
Was it me? Oh man. Yep. I don't remember doing that, but all right, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I remember because I thought this guy's gonna be a legend someday. I better remember him.
Well, I appreciate that. Apparently, you met the wrong man because Danny there is the legend. He already has a following. He has the Aceblade army behind him. Which if I don't get some type of Aceblade army merch soon, you're doing it wrong, dude.
We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make that happen.
Write it down on my notebook. I like Aceblade.
All right, Chris. So tell us about your books and what you're here about. You have 2 amazing characters, and I'm pretty sure you have more. But right now we're talking about Bassforce and Clarity Girl. Let us know what those characters are.
So for Bassforce, well, both books have kind of like the same thing to them, but Bassforce is about Bassforce's sister, and she's kind of like the Punisher of the universe. So he feels he has to stop her or someone else will. So it's either someone's going to attack her or he has to attack her. So he kind of has to choose that and confront his sister on some things that he doesn't want to do. And then with Clarity Girl, it's about her rivalry with her most infamous foe, how she went silent, and she has to know why she went silent. But there'll also be a B story in there, but that's pretty much both of them in a nutshell, without giving away too much.
I mean, your team spoiler here, so you want to give us something, you can.
This is a safe space, man. For spoilers. Listen, I love the designs of all your characters, man. You do. Kyron didn't say it, but you are also an amazing artist, man. I love your art style, and the designs for your characters are always really distinct and fresh. Like a lot of times, especially with superheroes, we can be kind of rudimentary in our designs, like but it's cool to see, you know, characters with different, like Clarity Girl in the blue, and then you know, and then Bassforce and the with the green and the sound gloves. Man, I love that kind of stuff. How do you your character designs? Is it based off of the story that you want to tell, or are you just trying to find, you know, kind of elements around you that you can put into a character?
It's kind of like a mix between elements and cultures that I love, and just finding what I like about certain styles, and then the artist on Bass Rush, Rob and Nix, really helps me solidify those designs. Sometimes it'll be like I'll draw a fan art of something of how I do it my way, and then I'm like, well, I like what I implemented here. I'm just gonna use it for my characters.
I love that.
Now, we already do have some comments coming in from our live stream. One from Brad Arnie says he wants a Thomasma cover of the next Aceblade book, which I wholeheartedly agree.
I would want that too.
Chris's artwork is amazing. It's unique, and it's very eye-catching. So anytime you can get Chris doing anything for you, it's a plus for your campaign. I'm just
thanks, man. Yeah, I would like that too. He's definitely a cool character. And Daniel has had some of the best artists draw Aceblade, so I'd be honored to be a part of that, you know?
We're going to make it happen, bro. We're going to make it happen.
Awesome. You know, get my DMs. Let's talk about that.
More anything, it's like, let's talk about how much you're going to pay to get my artwork. That's all.
We're going to make it happen. Exactly. That's one thing that kind of, you know, I've always been kind of jealous of artists. I mean, even though I draw myself, I never put my stuff out there because just like with music, it's something that it hurts me when I get critiquable on my art, right? Like writing, I know, you know, what people will like in writing, and I know that you know, if I stray from that, it's gonna, you know, push people the wrong way. It's subjective, and it comes from, you know, kind of within you. So I never put my stuff out there because I know that if somebody's like, "Oh, that's trash," if somebody says, you know, if somebody gives me a harsh critique, it's gonna hurt me, you know. So that's one thing, you know, that I always look up to people like you and Kyron, you know, to put yourself out there and put your art online. So how do you is that something that you deal with, the you know, pressure, or, you know, the critiques in a negative way? Does it make you feel a certain way, or do you just kind of brush it off and keep doing your thing?
Well, honestly, I'd be lying if I said I just brush it off, but I at least try to take what people say into consideration and, you know, work on it. And sometimes I don't post all my art because I don't want critiques on them as well. So there's that. But one advice I got from creator Jan Doherty is that, you know, if you get a critique, just do it better the next time you do something. So I've been really trying to implement that, unless it's something in a book that, you know, if there's a flaw in it you can't understand, then, you know. And also having trusted people, trusted artists I can show my work to and get critiques that way, instead of, you know, people critiquing me when I post something. So that's another thing.
Now, with you being a writer and an artist, and really everything for Keyframe Comics, I mean, you probably do all the social media, you do all the marketing, things like that. Do you find it hard to balance all these things in your life?
Oh, yeah, a lot. Sometimes I feel like I'm lacking in one area and not doing enough in another area. So, yeah, that can be a little bit tricky sometimes to balance all that out and still, like, you know, live my life without, you know, comics, you know. Like, it can be hard to put down the phone.
No, that's not difficult at all. I'm not always on my phone. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So if you had the chance, though, to just focus on one, whether it be writing or drawing, which would you want to focus on?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. See, I love them both equally, so it's hard to choose. Maybe writing. I don't know.
Okay.
Writing is just, I don't know. It feels a little bit easier to me. I don't know why.
That's because writing is easy. That's the theme of the show. Writing is easy.
Legit.
Yeah.
It is.
All right. So tell us about the Kickstarter that you have going on right now. It looks like you have 16 days to go.
Yeah.
You have a little bit under $800 left on the campaign. What are some of the things that people can get with this Kickstarter that maybe they haven't gotten in the past, or something that's new with this book that you introduced before?
Okay. First, I'm gonna start off by talking about what's new about these books and why you would really want them. Is with these books, these are gonna get a little bit darker than what you may be used to reading my writing. If anyone's read my writing before, it's a little bit darker than Base Force Volume 1. And also, you're going to get a really in-depth look at each character's backstory. So I think it's going to be kind of cool to see what happened right after Base Force's parents died. Well, how did this character get her powers? All this kind of stuff. And then also I added captions, so we'll be able to be inside Base Force's head a little bit as we're reading Base Force.
Nice.
And that's for like the story.
Now, is this a continuation from the previous Base Force and Clarity Girl books? Are these relaunches, or?
For Base Force, it is a prequel book, and for Clarity Girl, it's after the events of Volume 1 of Base Force. So it's still in the same universe, and nothing's rebooted, but they're two separate books, but in a different continuity.
And are you doing all the artwork on either book, or are you doing some of the artwork, or is it just the writing for you this time?
Just the writing for me this time. For Base Force, we have Robert Nix doing the art, and for Clarity Girl, we have Matteo Illuminati doing the work for the A story, and then Seth the Moose doing the work. Seth the Moose and Sharon Gauthier doing the work for the B story. But I can assure you, all the artworks is blowing me away. Every time I get a new page, I'm amazed.
I can see. I mean, just looking at your Kickstarter page, you have a bunch of different artists doing, rewards and covers and prints. It looks like this is your team here.
Yeah, that's my team. And
how did you get the dog on the team? How did you get the dog on the team?
Oh, that was a hard one. A lot of contract work. A lot of deals. It was a hard one to pull, but I pulled them.
I love it.
The most valuable player in my team, for sure.
Nice.
What
kind of dog is it?
Huh?
What kind of dog is it?
I'm not sure. You have to ask Robert Nix. That's his dog. Meiji. I swear, Meiji's like the cutest dog ever.
Yeah, I've seen that dog in his pictures and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah. Now, as far as what you can get in the Kickstarter, there's I'm offering a lot more than I offered previously. Like, we got things where you can get drawn in the Clarity Girl. I don't know if anyone listening likes that. You can get a whole bunch of stickers. You can get all kinds of stuff. I even inspired by Michael Watson's campaign. You can get all of my comics right now in the Elite package. Or if you don't want to wait for any of my comics, you can get the whole scheduled lineup, plus be modeled after a key character in Keyframe Comics. And then also for the stretch goals, we have some things I think are really exciting, like the podcast of Base Force featuring you two, and then there'll be a Clarity Girl song sang by Lori Foster if we get to it. So I'm offering a bunch of stuff.
I didn't know you had Lori doing some music. That's
Yeah, her and her husband are, if we reach it, they're gonna sing like the pop star that's gonna be in the B story of Clarity Girl. even have like a little cosplay picture too. So
okay, are we just gonna glaze over the fact that he said that there's gonna be you and I in this? Like, we're just not gonna talk that
come
about
on.
that.
I thought you two were talking about that.
I was more excited. I already knew that we were something. I didn't. I know Laura.
Okay,
the
people don't know about that. All right. Tell us about that. How are Danny and I going to be a part of this?
This is going to be a really interesting podcast where I've been coming up with questions for you guys to talk to the voice actor of Bassforce, and I'll be editing his voice so it sounds like you're actually listening to a podcast with Bassforce on it. I think it'll really add to the story of the books. It'll be a unique, fun little stretch goal.
Okay.
I'll also be adding more stretch goals soon too, as well, for more backer goals, more backer related goals as well. So you're gonna want to stay tuned for more rewards and stretch goals I'll be adding too.
All right. So again, if anybody's listening to this and they want to have us, Danny and I, in this podcast form for the Bassforce Clarity Girl, you need to back the Kickstarter. I mean, he's almost at goal. Let's get in there and then get into a stretch goal so Danny and I could be a part of this too. You know, you want us in there.
And then here's the awesome thing about this campaign. As I was recently on Michael Watson's chat and draw, I don't know if he's still in here talking, but he drew a piece of Trouble Fury, the antagonist of Bassforce, fighting Vigilance, which is now live on Kickstarter. If you back both Vigilance and Bassforce, and either Clarity Girl or Bassforce physical tire, you can get the print, which will be drawn by Michael Watson and colored by me, a creator collaboration.
Now, Michael, you are still in chat, it looks like. So if you want to drop your Kickstarter link, feel free. I will also go ahead and post Chris's campaign link to our show notes. So if anybody listens to this later on, they can actually click on there. I mean, it looks like you got an increase or at least an extra pledge while you've been on here. So that's really good.
Oh, really? Yeah. Whoever did that, thank you. Yeah, thanks. Whoever did that, I really appreciate it.
Now, you, at least from my understanding from Bassforce, every book that you've had has been like a single contained book. Is that right? Like it's all one story?
Yeah, that's the way I like to do it. So, if you want to read this and stop after you get to that, you can totally do that. You don't have to wait for another issue to feel like you're satisfied with this one. I personally love contained issues in graphic novels, so that's where I'm going with it. Even though there will be little threads introduced that will come back later in the series, but both comics, Clarity Girl and Bassforce, are single contained issues.
So, besides this book, where can people maybe pick up the other one? So, if they were interested in this one, where can they go to maybe read your past books?
I do have a site storing via Keyframe Comics, but my previous books are offered as add-ons for the campaign. So you can get Bassforce Volume 1, you can get Cookie the Collector and the Daring Diamond as add-ons.
Nice.
Even though, just to be clear, you guys don't have to read those books to understand Bassforce and Clarity Girl. Even though they are fun books, but it's not required reading.
I like that. I think that's one thing that's helped, with our comics as we've gone, being able, the back issues and the connected titles and stuff like that for people who, because Kickstarter is a big platform. Like a lot of people, may have, never read stuff before. So it's good to be able to offer them the things that came before, even if it's not connected. If they're interested in this one, they might be interested in, in those. So that's another thing to get funded.
Yeah, I really I really like how Kickstarter is added though, so we can offer that. Because early on in the campaign, someone actually asked about Cookie the Collector, and he was so nice. He bought Cookie the Collector, and then also backed my campaign. So I'm really glad they have those options.
Nice. And you also have another book called Code Pop.
Oh yes.
When is that coming out? Like, when can we find out more about her? Because I'm really interested in Code Pop.
Oh, she's coming out really soon. The only reason I haven't really been talking about her is we can't really talk about another character right now. But I actually have 2 books in development that's pretty much done of Code Pop. And one is going to be a fun kind of slice of life issue, more about her and what she do when she got suspended from school accidentally. It's going to be a really fun comic. And I think if you have kids, you're going to love it because, you know, it's going to be made for kids, basically. I have a lot of Zoomer humor.
Nice.
And the second Code Pop I'm working on is going to be, I don't know if I've seen it done before, but it's going to be a story plus an art book and how-to book. So the story is basically her trying to like gift her friend with a piece of art. So throughout the book, you'll see her progression of the art, and I'm getting a bunch of different artists drawing over her my work to kind of show what you should do in certain situations when you're drawing. So that's going to help out the target audience as well if you're into art.
Cool. All right. Well, this is the time in our segment, or this is the time where we go with our Danny's Quick Takes. If you aren't familiar with Danny's Quick Takes, it's a sort of rapid fire time frame where Danny's going to ask you 5 questions that he's found, scurrying your social media posts and things like that. But I'm going to pass it over to Danny so he can shake his head, apparently.
Sounds good.
I've been stalking you for the past couple of days, just trying to find some tidbits, some deep dark secrets. But I'm ready when you are, Kyle.
Go for it. You good?
Do you don't got the animated the graphic this time, Kyron?
It went up already. Did you see it, Chris?
Yeah, it's not moving.
I didn't see it. Oh, my bad. Okay.
I'll do it again. Hold on. Let me try. Because
Quicktakes.
Okay, did it show that time?
It's still not moving.
That's weird. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. Well, either way, we got some good questions for you. I know that just like me, you're all about a good story. What is more important in a good story? Is it the good heroes, villains?
Man, that's a tough one. Okay. Let's see. I'm on a timer now. Okay. It depends on the heart. Neither. It depends on what the heart of the story is. Is that an answer?
No.
You got to pick one or the other.
Okay. I'm gonna go with heroes.
Okay. So, I heard you talking about getting a cosplay earlier. So I got a quick question. And this is something I asked to a lot of our guests. What do you appreciate more when you get from fans? Do you appreciate fan art of your characters? I've seen you had a lot of that. Or would you appreciate cosplay of your character? Which one is the more above and beyond from fans?
I've never had a cosplayer, so I'm gonna go with cosplayer, even though I love both. Because I think that takes a little bit more effort, Not saying drawing doesn't, but I know what goes into cosplay, so I'm gonna go with cosplay.
That's a good answer.
Okay, so art is worthless. Basically, I got you.
You know, cosplay is considered art too. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of art.
Nah, y'all tried to come at writers earlier talking about writing is easy, but now art is so such a superior. Oh no, I'm just playing around with you. Okay, I was I was going through your social media and I noticed you like to use the superhero pose, that superhero landing pose that Deadpool was talking about in his movies. So I saw you did one of Bassforce doing the superhero pose, and I did one of Clarity Girl. What is it about this superhero pose that is so impactful to viewers? Because I've seen it a lot too.
I feel like this lets everyone know that this person is serious, and well, before Black Widow, let people know this person is really serious about what they do, you know, and that it's kind of like them looking up at us, saying, "Okay, I'm ready here." That's how I see it.
Yeah,
almost like how yeah.
Yeah. Because it's cold in here. That's why I'm working. I didn't chance to turn on the heat, so I had to get to. So number 4, when you're on Michael Watson's show, when you were on Chat and Draw, I know you talked about having to start over a couple of times. Can you tell us? Do you think that starting over has helped your creativity, or you think it's backed you up a little bit?
From a career standpoint, in some ways I feel like it hurt, but at the same time, from a creative standpoint, I feel like it helped because I was more free to do what I wanted to do and not look back on the mistakes I made, if that makes sense. There was a comic I read recently that actually touches on this, but it'd be a little bit too controversial to talk about.
It's never too controversial now. I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, it's just another person's comic. I don't know how good I feel talking about someone else's comic right here.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
That would be after the show. You can tell us what you want to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about it after the show.
I'm going to touch on the villain subject after we get done with this, because I actually have something I want to say about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm down with it.
Sorry. Morgan's killing me with these responses.
I had to break up some purple. This is the one time I got too much purple on. So I was like, let me just throw the jacket on real quick. It's a little chilly in here. Let me throw the jacket on to break up some of this purple. This dude, thank number 5, question number 5. So you might know that I do another show with Morgan Iverson called Top 5 Live. So in this show, I like to get people to give me a top 5 off the top of their heads. And I know you love women superheroes. So I want you to give me your top 5 superheroines.
Oh, yeah. This is my question now. I'm going to go with Green Lantern Jo. She's awesome. I'm going to go with Green Lantern Jessica. I'm going to go with Vigilance. I'm going to go with, man, I'm blanking here. All New Wolverine. And then I'm going to go with, there's another one I really love that I can't. Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl is my favorite. Put her at the top of the list. Those are my 5.
I have seen you do fan art of Squirrel Girl. I'm surprised you didn't have Wonder Woman there. I've seen you do some Wonder Woman art too.
Yeah. Wonder Woman's good too. I'm just not a huge fan of her.
I see there was no Saw in there. This might be the last time that we have Chris on the show.
I forgot about Saw.
And Morgan's like Harlem should be in there too. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
You're right, Morgan. All wrong answers.
Out yet. You can't be putting Harlem on people's list when we ain't even got a comic out yet.
Yeah, man.
All wrong answers.
Next year, though.
Next year. All right. Well, that was Bane Blades Quicktakes, brought to you by Vigilance from Freestyle Comics. Check out the book at fskgo.com. That's your new name from now on, Baneblade.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to try to introduce something because we've done this a couple times, but it didn't really fit. So I want to try and introduce a segment that we're going to call "What Are You Reading?" So I want to know, Chris, with you, what are you reading right now that you're really enjoying, and what book do you think people should check out that they're not?
Let's say my top book that I'm really enjoying right now is Fantastic Four by Dan Slott. I really love just all the wholesomeness, the story elements, everything in that is beyond phenomenal. The book I feel like people should be reading, if they aren't by now, is either Excellence or Far Sector. Especially if you're black, I feel like you gotta read that one.
I just picked up volume 3 of Excellence last week, so I'm getting into that.
Oh, so good.
It is. It really is. We have to find some way to get them on the show if they ever read their DMs.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite books right now. No? You don't want them on the show, Danny? Why are you shaking your head?
I'm saying they don't read their DMs. I know they don't, because I've been reaching out to Jamal Campbell for literally a year and a half now. So I don't know. It might be impossible.
All right,
what are you reading, Kyron?
What am I reading? Oh, I didn't know we were bringing that on us too. I thought we were just gonna do the guess. Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, Danny didn't even mention me with top 5. So rude.
I quit.
Damn.
I quit. I can't do nothing today. I can't do nothing right today. I quit.
What am I reading right now? I'm reading Saga. That's my favorite series. That's an amazing book, and I know people already read that, but that's an amazing book. One book that I actually picked up, and I only got issue 1 so far, but it's right up my wheelhouse. Is the new series for Echo, where she gets the Phoenix Force.
Oh. I love it in the Disney Plus series, so I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. And it's completely different than how they portray her in the Disney Plus series. So, but this is really cool. I mean, she's fighting with the Phoenix Force, and she's trying to basically control the Phoenix Force where no one else has before. And it's a different take. Plus, they really go into her Native American roots.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Nice.
We need more Native American heroes. So.
All right, Danny, what are you reading, and what books should people be picking up from you?
It's true. I've been trying to read, like Chris said, Excellence in Far Sector. Only picked back up on Far Sector. I was at like issue 8 or something like that, and then I picked it back up recently and got that trade in for Excellence a couple of months ago and finally cracked it open. So that's cool. But I also got some good deals on some hardcovers. So this X-Men No More Humans. I'd never seen this before. So I was like, oh shoot, I might have to check that out. So and the book is just beautiful. So, definitely had to pick this up. I'm gonna give this a read probably next week. But I think any comic that any comic read, get your hands on these days is good to read. So just go to your local comic book store and pick up something that looks good to you, and read.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, like with the comic industry now, it's open for everyone. You just have to like go into a comic book store, or even Comixology before they ruin the Comixology.
What did they do with Comixology? I've been out of the loop on that.
Yeah.
No, what did they do with Comixology?
So they changed the interface to how you used to be able to read the comics. So now everything is all messed up. So it's like, you know how they used to have like the guided view? They don't have that anymore. And like all the credits on everything is gone. Some comics are even deleted from the site. So yeah, people are done with Comixology. They ruined it.
I thought they were always owned by Amazon. Maybe because it was just a different platform then, but now it's like the Amazon platform. They messed it up. But
yeah, I think Amazon decided to do something differently and trying to, I don't know, improve upon Kindle, but I'm not sure. It's just a shame what happened to it.
Yeah, I mean, Kindle, it should technically, Kindle would be a good place to read comics. It should be, but sometimes they probably just got to get the bugs out, and they'll be fine in 8 months or so. But by then, there might be another platform. Like I read my digital comics on my iPad. Like I download PDFs and read them on my iPad, and I love that. But it'll be all right.
Well, since we are talking about comics that we're reading, Chris, what books got you into comics when you were younger, or maybe you started when you're older? Yeah, I shouldn't assume that you started when you were younger.
Actually, I got into superheroes right after Spider-Man 1 came out, but then I got into reading comics when Iron Man 1 came out. That's when I really started reading comics. But the series I'll always remember, the one that I started with was Marvel Adventures Spider-Man. And I just loved that series so much, how every issue you felt very satisfied with. And even though they had a cliffhanger, you felt like that issue was done. And then also, it looked a little bit more cartoony and fun than other comics that I would see on the shelf. I think Christopher Soto Color back then was the colorist of that book. It had a very cel-shaded cartoon vibe to it. And I just love the way they portrayed Peter Parker and Gwen running off and doing adventures. So that was my first book.
Nice. Now, is that also the book that sparked that interest to create comics, or was it something else?
Yeah, that was the book. And then seeing indie comics, I'd be like, oh, people can actually make these. I think I would want to too, given that I'm already drawing things. But after seeing indie comics, I think Spirit's Destiny was like one of the first indie comics I remember. I know Dorothy, so she was very encouraging. That's kind of how I got into comics, even though I had a bunch of superheroes I would create before. Clarity Girl was the first one.
Now, with you having so many characters, is there any creators that you haven't worked with that you would want to? And not necessarily like big names, but even indie creators.
Michael Watson. I know I keep dropping his name a lot, but I really like his art style and what he's doing with his comics. I would like to do a Bassforce with him someday. Morgan, I want to work with him someday. Man, there's pretty much like all the indie people I want to work with someday. Right now, I'm working on something with Charlie, who does Spire Scroll. So I was one of the dream indie creators I wanted to work with.
Nice. That's
but
cool.
As far as like big names, I would love to work for like Brandon Thomas or Donnie Cates, or even trying to think of her name. I can't think of her name right now, but yeah, I want to work with a lot of people. Let's just say that.
All right. Now we have to have Brandon Thomas on the show at one point. I'm sorry. I mean, we've glowingly raved about excellence on the show 3 or 4 times. His name's now popped up. If somebody can tag him in the comments or forward him an email or something, letting him know that we want him on the show sometimes, please do that. Because that would be great. I'm just saying. Morgan said he'd be definitely doing something with Harlem and Clarity Girl. There you go.
Oh, that'd be dope. Even though maybe Trouble Fury would be a better fit for Harlem, but it's cool.
Trouble is a problem. Trouble is a problem.
Yeah. From what I remember, they're both anti-heroes, right?
Harlem might actually be a villain eventually. Like Morgan's characters, like he says that they're heroes, but they be destroying people left and right. So I don't. We'll see about Harlem.
His heroes are just an extension of Morgan's, what you're saying.
Pretty much.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh, hi, Timothy.
I haven't even seen. I'm sorry. See, everybody loves Clarity Girl. I think we need more. And one of the things I actually love that you've done with Clarity Girl is you got somebody to do voiceover work for her.
Oh, yeah. Marion Choro. I try not to voice her like every time. She does such a great job with her. You know, if you guys want to check out what she's done with her voices, you can go to my my YouTube channel. Well, I posted it before, but she has voice work for both trailers for Bassforce and Clarity Girl. Yeah. You guys do some great designs too, so.
Sorry,
I'm
looking
reading
at
the
comments
too.
real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a couple more minutes because we don't want to take too much of your time. We know you're busy with the Kickstarter and everything. Is there anything that we haven't brought up that maybe you want to talk about before we go?
Honestly, I can stay on here longer. I have nowhere to go, but a couple things. I guess while we're on the subject of anti-hero, the thing about Trouble Fairy is it's gonna be interesting to read the issue, and I think once you're done with the issue, you're gonna kind of see where she's coming from, and debate whether she is a villain or anti-hero, or if she's just a regular hero who has new ways. So I think that's gonna be exciting to see. It kind of goes into something you said. Something you said earlier about villains or heroes, but given that every villain can kind of see themselves as a hero, I think those are kind of one and the same. Notice how almost every single Sony movie about villain has had basically a villain for that villain, not making that villain a villain anymore, making him a hero. So that's something that could be debated about.
All right, now we did have a comment from Javon saying that Chris needs to be on Top 5 Live, which is the other podcast that Danny is a part of.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun
with Javon Stokes and Morgan Iverson. Those, but as to what you were talking about, I saw on your Kickstarter page too. The heroes can sometimes get kind of dark too, because I saw a panel from the book where Bassforce is beaten, looks like nut pretty bad, and he said something about murdering the mess out of somebody, for stopping them from being one of the greatest heroes all the time. So I think it's a delicate balance. Kind of have to show it through your actions, through your character's actions of what they believe and how they and how they deal with situations. So I'm down with that.
I just want to add context to that because the page you read from was actually when he was a teenager. So as a teenager's point of view, he would think about just killing, the villain that killed his parents. So, it's also a linear hero of where you're standing from and how mature you are to be a hero. That's something that's really touched on a lot in Clarity Girl. I think people are gonna love is that she's really gonna define what it means to be a hero for her. And I don't want to say too much, or else I'll spoil it. But it's a great, interesting take on heroes.
Okay, now you got to spoil something. I mean, Danny's already said this is a safe space, and you're like, I'm not going to spoil it. You got to spoil something for our listeners. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, my artist keeps talking about I'm too into not spoiling, but let's say, what can I spoil? So I get distracted by the comments too. Okay, what I can spoil about Clarity Girl is that sorry man, I'm blanking on this one.
Okay. It's okay.
You can tell us how they got their powers, because in everything that I've read, I haven't seen how they've gotten their powers. Can you tell us about that?
Oh yeah, I can spoil that. It's not a big secret. Bassforce is a son of the original Bassforce, so he inherits the gauntlets and the helmet from his dad, which come from White Corp, which produced Clarity Girl. And Clarity Girl, her how she gets her powers is she was really sick, and the only way to cure her was from a special serum. And the serum gives her powers. And her weakness, though, is that the powers only work sometimes. So
nice.
that's where
Like
they
my
get the
aunt.
powers from. Yeah. so sometimes she doesn't have the powers, and sometimes she does. So it's gonna be kind of cool to see.
All right. That does sound cool, and I'm glad that we are at least able to talk to you about this. Because I think I have Clarity Girl and Bassforce, and I think they're both great books. And everybody should check it out. If you haven't already, go to his Kickstarter, back it. If you backed it, up your pledge, help him reach his goal.
Can I just add that with this Kickstarter, you don't have to buy both books. You can get Clarity Girl, or you can get Bassforce, or you can get them both. So it's not you have to buy both of them for this Kickstarter.
No, we want them to buy both of them.
Buy both.
Buy both. Get all the
I would
add-ons.
like you to. I would like you to, but you don't have to.
Okay, we want you to buy both. Get all the add-ons. Get everything you can. It's a good series. You're going to enjoy it. It's going to be well worth the money. So pick it up now if you haven't already.
Morgan, stay tuned for a Purple Panda. She wears tights. And Trouble Fairy. She wears tights too. Yeah, Morgan.
All right. So Chris.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with superheroes wearing tights, man. See, Morgan just likes his heroes grungy and wearing jeans and slicing people in half. But that ain't even a hero. He sliced people up.
Yeah, can I just say one more thing? A little rant about that. I hate in superhero movies when they talk about how stupid the superhero costumes look for the original comics. Like, you'll have a purple monster collecting all types of stones, wiping out half the population, but somehow a superhero wearing tights is just out of the question. That annoys me.
Yeah.
This is out of the question.
Yeah, I know. I know. That should be a top 5 thing right there, where you guys just discuss superhero costumes and how they portrayed in movies. Because some of those superhero costumes, they could have just done it directly from the book and have been fine.
Yeah.
But there have been some instances where the movie actually did enhance it. So
yeah,
I saw on TikTok though, there was a behind the scenes from the X-Men. I want to say it was X2. When they I think it might have been the first X-Men where they were going to the Statue of Liberty and they all had on the for the first time. You remember that moment?
Mm-hmm.
And the actors literally couldn't, like, there was an outtake because they were trying to hop over that fence to get the scene done, and they couldn't move in the costumes. Like they redesigned these costumes and all this stuff, and they literally could lift the leg just to hop over this little fence. So it was hilarious. I love that. I love stuff like that.
That's kind of like how in Batman Dawn of Justice, how he'd be so stiff, and the other Batman too, Val Kilmer, I think it was. They were so stiff, so it's so good that in the Batman, he was actually walking around looking cool, and he didn't have to be all like this,
Yeah.
We gotta bring that up sometime.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Well, where can we or everybody find your work, your website, things like that?
Right now you can find it at Clarity Girl and Bassforce Kickstarter right now. That's why I like you guys, because you can get all the stuff I offer at the store as add-ons, including stickers and commissions and all that. But if you don't want to support my Kickstarter, you can go to storeenvy.qfamcomics.com, and all the stuff available will be there as well. And you can add me on Facebook, and I post a lot of fan art and all that kind of stuff too. So, yeah.
All right. Danny, about you, where can we find your work at?
If you're looking for me, best place to go is our website, fourthwallpros.com. And if you want to follow me on social media, it's at the Aceblade on all social media platforms. What about you, Kyron? Where can people find your stuff?
You can find me at tauruscomics.com. If you want to get my socials on Instagram and Twitter is at Taurus Comics. And if this is the first time you've ever listened to our podcast, we thank you for checking out. But if you want to go back and listen to previous episodes, you can go to fourtalespodcast.com. That is the number 4, TALES podcast.com. Next week, though, we will have, and I'm going to mess up his name, I already know it, but I think it's pronounced Zachary Marwah from Dwarf Star Comics and creator of the book The Voyage. So hopefully you guys can join us then. But until next time, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Thanks for having me.
Music provided by my brother, Quicks Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.